Thank you so much, Cynthia, for coming.
Of course.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, your closet, your Posh Closet name, things like that.
So I'm Cynthia. My closet name is my name, CYNTHAAA. So it's Cynthia without an I and then three A's. And I, for the longest time, I wanted to put like a brand name and make it creative. I don't know. There's a bunch of fun names out there, but I couldn't come up with something, and everyone already knew me for my name. So I'm like, nah, stick with it, Cynthia. So my closet name and brand name is just my name, Cynthia. I've been on the app since 2014, and I started off by kind of selling my own clothes, and eventually I realized that it was kind of like a business because I was buying stuff for super cheap and flipping it for a whole bunch more money than what I bought it for. So I'm like, this is a pretty good business. I'm gonna keep doing it. So yeah.
Okay. And do you do it full time, part time?
No, I am actually a teacher. So
Okay.
I'm a full-time teacher throughout the school year. Right now I'm on summer vacation. This is my last week of vacation, and during the summertime I'm able to do it full time per se. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. On the weekends I'll posh when it's like the school week, and Monday through Friday I'll just posh during the nighttime.
So one of the questions submitted was, how long did it take you for being on the app before you realized like there's some money in this and you could possibly do it full time during the summer?
I think it took me about a year and a half or 2 years when I realized like, oh, like I'm making money off of this. Like at first I saw it as like a recycling because I used to have really, really bad shopping habits, and I would go to the mall and just spend a bunch of money that I didn't even need to spend. I didn't even have a trip coming up or any events. I just bought stuff just to buy. And so at first, Poshmark was a very good recycling tool for me. So I will get rid of a lot of clothes, and with the earnings, I would buy stuff off of the app. So I did that for about a year and a half, and then I realized like I could be making extra money off of this. So instead of just continuing that bad habit of shopping, I just completely limited on the app. I'll probably buy like one thing per month just so I can still give myself something, but I didn't like splurge on it as much as I used to at the mall. So it took me about almost 2 years when I realized like this is a really good business that I can actually potentially make money off of.
Okay. And do you sell mostly boutique or thrifted items? What is the majority of your closet?
My closet is 50-50, my personal clothes and the clothes that I get. I have a lot of clothes, more clothes than I probably need in my personal closet. So 50% of the clothes that I have on my Poshmark closet is clothes that I just no longer wear because it's not my style anymore. I used to wear a lot of fun colors back like a few years ago, but now I wear a lot of black and white and neutral colors. So I've gotten rid of a lot of that kind of clothes. And then the other half I get from thrifted. I shop a lot at Goodwill and here in Phoenix, and they have one in Chicago as well. It's a store called Last Chance, and
Hmm.
they send over all of the returns from Nordstrom or Nordstrom Rack, as well as like any overstock or just anything that's damaged. And everything's really cheap there. So that's one of the sources that I go to. So Goodwill and Last Chance when it's not my closet.
Okay.
Being different. I like to look at trends. I have an Instagram and a Pinterest where I kind of look for ideas and see what's trending. But I also just kind of stick to my intuition and like being different and being weird. And I put things together that not a lot of people would consider, and people like it. I like putting pieces that are vintage with something that's modern, like just putting a little twist to it. And I just like being different, and I'm not afraid to put my ideas out there. And if they like it, they like it. And if they don't, well, oh well. I'll just try a new method. I'll try something different. But I just like being different.
Okay. And do you attend a lot of Posh parties? Do you feel it's helpful for your success on Poshmark, the parties and the apps?
Yes. What I try to do, my goal is to self share my whole closet 3 times a day, in the morning, at noon, and at night. In particular during the posh parties, because that's when there's the most people on the app. A lot of people have a notification on their phone where they get notified when a party starts, and that's when they get on the app. So if they see the notification, they're more likely to come on to the app and shop or just kind of browse. So I like to self-share my closet 3 times a day in the morning at 9 Pacific Standard Time during the morning parties, at noon when it's more like a category party where it's like best in shirts or best in dresses. I don't really do like the 3 p.m. party because I don't know. There's usually those are like boutiques, kids, or best in like menswear or plus size parties, and I don't really sell those, so I don't really participate in that one. But I always, for sure, if I don't have time to do any of the ones throughout the day, my ultimate goal is to try the one at night. That's the most important one because that's when there's the most people on the app throughout the day. That's when people come home from work, they are either about to have dinner, they're relaxing on the couch. So you want to take advantage that there's people on the app and share your whole entire closet. So the nighttime party is my most important one.
Okay. And how many available listings do you usually keep?
At the moment, it's anywhere between 200 to 300. Sometimes there's up to 300 I'll sell, and then I'll put it back to 300. So just anywhere between 200 to 300.
Okay, so between 200 to 300. Okay. And so so your boutique items, what are those usually? Are those usually purses, clothes, shoes? What are they?
I do sell some boutiques. I haven't sourced as much as I used to. Usually that is like dresses or blouses, and I source in downtown LA. I'm licensed in Los Angeles, so whenever I have clients and I'm in the area, I'll go to downtown LA and look for boutiques and they order a large amount of the one particular dress, like a style that's staple or something that's trendy. But usually I go for dresses and blouses. I'm not really a big fan of accessories. Um, Chokers, I used to sell chokers a lot with the necklaces, and that was also really popular. I just don't really do jewelry and accessories as much anymore. It fits more to clothes.
I think you recently were at one of the Posh Nations
Yes.
events. What did you feel you took from that event? Like, what was a good takeaway from that event?
So I was actually at the Post event live, and so that was a really good experience. Being able to meet a lot of people and then having them come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I know you, I follow your content." So that was, I think, my favorite and the best part is you get to meet people face to face that you are online friends, and then you get to meet them in real life. Like you build all these relationships through Instagram and the app, but with these parties that the company hosts, their local meetup, you get to meet all the people parties like PFS in person. And I think that's like the best part. Like, my personal friends to know that but it's kind of hard to hold a full conversation with my friends because they're like, oh yeah, like Cynthia's a Poshmark girl, but not everyone knows and can have a full conversation about it. But here, you can have these conversations with everyone, and it's like, oh my god, like where have you been?
So, with your Posh store, so you said that you do closet shares. Do you list a certain amount of items a day, or is it just random? Or
So I try to list 3 items or more per day. That's
okay,
my goal. There's supposedly like a algorithm that helps you drive marketing and get more traffic to your closet if you post 3 or more listings per day. So that's my goal. Sometimes I don't have those new listings to post because I have more listings. So what I do, I delete and I list stale listing. So the listing's been there for 6 months. I have people, I'll just delete it, edit the description, and post a new listing. So that way I can get my 3 listings today.
okay. And have you done anything with Posh Markets yet? Like, have you used that feature yet? I know it's just came out for everyone, but some people had it before. I don't. Have you used that feature yet?
I got it yesterday, so I was still trying to tell you I haven't even used it because I just got it yesterday. But my other friends that when I went working with them, they had it. And I'm just like, what the heck is this? Like, I didn't know this, but apparently other people had it before, and I'm very familiar with it. I don't really have much history on it. I think it's cool that you can categorize, so that way if you do sell luxury items, it drives that traffic to you. type of
Mm,
buyer who are only looking for that. So I think it's a pretty cool way to organize your forecast.
okay. Yeah, I think I read some article too about um decor too. Uh,
Yes, I saw
I know
that
everyone gets excited.
Poshmark tips and tricks Instagram. She like highlighted the word home decor. I'm like, what the heck? We're gonna have home decor on Poshmark? Good show.
Yeah, I love that because I feel that Poshmark is gonna, really take the market for clothes. It's so easy
Yeah.
to sell on the app, and the shipping process is so easy. The payment process is easy, and
Yeah.
people like easy and convenient. So, are there any tips that you would like to share from yourself, from your experience on Poshmark?
I have a lot. I have a blog where I post. My goal is to post at
Mhm.
least a new post every week. But it's more targeted towards students who are just barely getting familiar with it. But I think a tip that I can share. Let me see.
And what's your blog name? Your
My
blog website?
my blog is my name, cynthaaa.com. So Cyntha, the same as my
Okay.
Instagram and my Poshmark account. So cyntha.com.
Okay. And
Uh,
I'll post a link to that below.
okay, thank you. Um, I'm thinking of. Let's see, hold on. I didn't.
Oh, no worries. I can edit it out too. So no worries.
There's just so much I can share. Um, I recently got a tip at one of the last local meetups from a Pasha community at Maida Maida. She said that she wants to share sold listings.
Mm,
And so they're kind of just like scattered throughout her closet. And for various reasons. One of the reasons that I like to do this tip that she shared with me is because it shows that your stuff is in demand and you kind of want to take action and buy it now before it's because it looks as if that your things are selling fairly quickly. And so if you sold the listings, just hitting the share button on the phone, it'll reshare it, organize it properly. It looks like your stuff is in demand. And another reason that she also said that she sold listings is because people do go back to sold listings. And if you're proud of your price, or you're proud that it's sold for a really good price, share that so that way when people go to the sold listings, it catches their eye. They're like, oh wow, I like these pair of shoes. It's a good cover shot. It's a good price, and then that way they're gonna go now to your closet and see what else you have to offer. So it's just another way to market yourself.
hmm. Okay. That's a really good tip too. So you feel that have you ever like shared a sold listing and then someone bought something like right after, or do you feel like it's a long term effect?
I wouldn't say right after, but I sold things at a very similar price. So I sell a lot of distressed denim shorts during the summertime. So what I like to
Hmm.
do is share sold listings of denim shorts that I've already sold to another posher. And
Hmm.
that way others can see like, well, these are in demand. I should probably take advantage of it now. The posher paid 35, maybe I should make an offer for that same price as well. And she's most likely going to accept it. So I wouldn't say it happens instantly, but as people are scrolling through your closet, they're going to be more inclined to buy at that moment versus saying like, oh, I'm just putting my likes and save it for later.
Hmm. Okay, that's a really good tip. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other tips you would like to share as well?
Um, One thing that I shared during the Posh Party Live in Scottsdale when I was a speaker there, they asked me the same question, and the one thing that I was able to share with them is do everything with love. So when you do things and you put your heart and your energy and everything that you have into it, you're gonna get the results. It's kind of like the whole idea of I don't know if people believe in this or not, but just like it's just energy. Like if you put out all this good energy, you're gonna get it back, kind of like karma. So if you put in the effort, you take the time to take pictures that are phenomenal versus a picture where it's like, man, let me just hang this on the wall on a hanger and it's crooked, broken hanger. It's not even pretty. It's like all over the place. The lighting's off. It's not going to be a very well listing for you. I mean, and I'm sure other people have been successful with this. I'm not saying it's not the best idea, but what I'm saying is if you put in the effort, you're going to get the effort back as far as like money goes as well. So if you take the time to do a picture of a pair of shorts and like decorate it, style it, get some good lighting, get some good backdrops, because that way it's going to be appealing to the eye and someone's going to be more likely to spend a little bit more higher price versus
Mm-hmm.
let's say $50 versus $15 on the same pair of jeans or pair of shorts, which I can speak from experience. I used to take really crappy pictures because I didn't really know much about the app or like the importance of a cover shot. And I was selling things for $10, $15, where now I can sell pretty much similar things for $50 because it adds value to it, because you're making it more appealing to the customer, because like a pair of shorts, they are good denim, they are quality denim shorts, but someone's not going to want to pay a bunch of money if it's to their eye it looks like it's just crappy material because of the lighting or whatever. The lighting distorts fabric as well, so you want to keep that in mind. So again, if you're going to do something, put the energy into it and it's going to pay back. I know I was talking to one of my friends, her name is Kristen at Voyage is the Verb, and she has consistent photography on her sidewalk. She has a plant and it's like a cement sidewalk, and she always posts like her shoes there, her dresses, so her photography is consistent. And in Arizona, it's really, really hot right now. It's like 115 degrees. And so she
Wow.
still goes out there, takes her pictures, and she posts them on her Poshmark. She tries to keep her listings fresh. I think she said she posted 5 listings in the heat, or she took pictures and then she went somewhere with AC to go post her pictures where it's more fresh. But still, again, putting that energy to get good quality photographs, regardless of what your obstacles are going to be. Here in Arizona, it's 115 degrees, so she's able to go outside to still take her pictures because they have demonstrated that her customers love her cover shots. And so just because it's hot doesn't mean that we're just gonna stop altogether taking these pictures. I mean, it just, again, it goes back to that same idea: do everything with love. If you know that this is something that's effective and you are putting in that passion into it and that hard work, it's gonna pay off.
Okay. And so for your lighting, do you use like those light bulb lamps that everyone has, those box lamp things?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So right now, let me show you. I have this room with like really, really big windows. And what I do, I
Okay.
open up the blinds. Usually I scoot the whole thing over so that the whole window is open and it's not casting any shadows. Uh,
Mm.
for my angle right now, this kind of works. And so I just have it kind of semi-open. But I am a firm believer of natural lighting. If you can get natural lighting, the better. I do have an umbrella, however, it broke. And so
Oh,
I didn't have the money to go back to Amazon and purchase a new one. So I'm like, what can I do to alleviate the cost and still have good
mhm,
quality pictures? And so I just been using my
mhm.
natural lighting, and it's a room with it doesn't have a whole lot of furniture, but I purposely use this room so that I can have that natural lighting and there's no shadows against it. And that's been working for me. And if you don't have a room that's this spacious and full of light, I would recommend changing your light bulbs to daytime lights. And I mean, there are
Okay.
dollars if you go to Home Depot, so it's really inexpensive. And because yellow lighting is going to distort your pictures and turn it kind of like orangey reddish, where if you have daytime white lights, that's going to really focus and give that full lighting to your objects, whatever it is that you're selling.
Okay. So those are like daytime lights at Home Depot. Okay.
Mhm.
So those are like the light bulbs you should be using, opposed if you can't get the umbrella lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's good to know. Okay. As we close, is there anything else you want to share? Your Instagram, or anything you have coming up that you would like to share?
Um, Well, I think you too. You're going to be going to Posh Fest, right?
I am. I am going to be going to Pashas. Yes.
Nice. So I'm going to be going to Posh Fest with a bunch of my Phoenix friends. I've been able to gather and meet a few locals, and we kind of get together. We go out for drinks. We have a scheduled pool party coming up, and so it's just a bunch of poshers that we like getting together, and
Ooh.
we become friends. Like we can like honestly hang out and have a good time because we've become friends. But we're friends that go sourcing together, and we meet eye to eye because of this whole Poshmark business. We understand each other. So we're all going to be going to Dallas, Texas together on the same flight. We're going to be staying together at an Airbnb, and I'm really excited to go with them this year. This will be my third Posh Fest. I,
Wow.
I went to the one in LA, which I got to hear you speak there for the first time, I think back in 2017.
Yes, the Chicago. I think it was Chicago. The Chicago one. Yes, I went to the Chicago one.
Okay, so yes, I met you at the Chicago one in 2017, and then
Yes.
before that I went to the 2016 in LA.
Okay. Yeah, I think you spoke at the 2017 one too, right?
Yes, I did. Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. So I remember I met you there. I loved. I mean, when I was at Potch Fest, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a crazy, awesome experience, and I loved meeting the people. I love people, you know, and talking, and I'm a very like talkative person. I'm very excited about this one here.
Yeah.
I've been to Texas before, but I don't think I've been to like the convention center. That kind of area, the Dallas, Texas. I've always just been there for like work, so I've been like in and out.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to actually spend some time down there in Texas exploring too and meeting people again. So
I've
that's
never
I'm
been
looking
to
forward
Texas
to that.
myself. The only reason to travel like within the United States is because of Poshmark, honestly. Like I had never gone. I've never been to the West Coast. The furthest West Coast I've been is now Phoenix.
Uh,
But I went to Chicago because of Poshmark. I've never been to Chicago or anything out there. I've never gone to like Florida, New York. So going to Dallas, Texas, that to me is like a huge deal because I've never been to Texas or anywhere that way. So I'm excited. I've always been in the rural southwest corner of the United States, which is just like LA, Phoenix, Baja.
yeah, my jobs I've worked over the years have had me all over the globe. So yeah, I was on a plane quite a lot. That's why I tell my friends. They're like, "Oh my god, how can you sleep on a plane?" I was like, "I just got used to it because I was like always on a plane." So I just got used to it. Like, I got to sleep on a plane. I need to sleep whenever I need to sleep, whenever I need to fall asleep.
I had some questions for you. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Cool. So one thing, I mean, just personally speaking, I'm really good at math, but I hate math. Like, I hate having to deal with the money part of, or the accounting part of Poshmark. And like your class that you gave at Poshfest, that was a class that I needed to go visit and listen to, but I was not excited about because I hate numbers, to be honest. And I mean, I'm sure I'm speaking um, on behalf of a lot of people because I don't like doing my taxes. I hate doing taxes. I hate tax season, but it's something that as Americans we have to do. And I honestly just wait till like the last week to file my taxes and I procrastinate. But it's something that's really very important. So I wanted to ask you, what would be an accounting advice that you would give someone who is just starting off on Poshmark, whether they plan on doing like a big business or they're just kind of doing it as a hobby? What's some advice that you would give?
Well, they should first decide like after they get comfortable, like if they want to do it as a hobby or a business. Because if they do it as a business, there's a lot of tax deductions available. And they need to set up the right structure. So there's new 2018 laws. So depending on like how much money they're making, they should decide what business structure they want. So if they want to just do it where it's just doing business as, or it's just like a LLC or a corporation. It depends on like how they're doing. Like those people that are like Infinity Rain, like they're doing like millions of dollars or a million in sales, or whatever, over whatever period of time that was. So they're like a bigger, operation. So like them, they might want to do corporation or LLC or something like that. And the new feature the sales reports that they just came out with, Poshmark,
Yeah.
I would take that and then put it into a sales worksheet. So I have a sales worksheet that I'm gonna start posting on Instagram too as well.
Great.
Um, and so it basically, I put in from the stuff, the information they had from the sales report into my sales sheet, and then I just do. I also have an expense worksheet. So I just take like all the cost of goods of the items I bought, and then like shipping supplies, tape. If you bought a Dymo printer, like all that stuff is deductible, like the labels, all that is deductible. If you travel, like you're traveling for Posh Nation, all that's deductible. You're traveling for Posh Fest, all that's deductible. You know, so I would try to deduct as much as legally possible, and then like make sure you have a sales tax certificate depending on whatever the rules are in your state,
Mhm.
because they have all these new rules coming up and that is already decided, and the states have to decide if they're going to adopt that new law. Like they have, each state can decide if they're going to do it or not. So not all states have decided they're going to do it or not, so it's not like a huge concern right at this moment. But
Mhm.
like say in Connecticut, like I have to have a sales tax license, and it's very simple. It's like $100, and then you have to file sales tax returns. So you do, and you have to kind of stay on top of it too, and file monthly or quarterly depending on whatever the rules are in your state.
Mhm.
But I think it's really important to stay organized because it's a lot once you think about like sales tax and then sales tax returns. And I'm thinking Poshmark eventually will do something with sales tax. I'm assuming, like they didn't tell me this, but I'm just like assuming
Mhm.
that one day they'll probably have it, kind of how eBay does it, where like the sales tax, you can do it by state. Like if you ship something, like right now on my eBay, like if I ship something to Connecticut, it'll charge them sales tax and I don't have to do anything. So I'm assuming one day Poshmark is going to do that too. I'm assuming. Um, and then, right now they don't have 1099. So I would just use the sales reports that they've given you and then put it into your own spreadsheet. And I really like the sales reports because you can tell what brands are doing well for you, what categories. Like if you're doing well, if you're doing well with shorts, so someone can really look and see what categories they're selling really well at.
Mhm.
If they're selling really well doing shorts or shoes, and what brands are selling well, so then they can just keep doing what is already successful. So I think, and I like the Genius app. Um, there's a Genius scan app. It's free, and like I take pictures of my receipts, and then it emails me, and then I have in that email a folder that automatically, when I get an email from that app, it goes into that folder. So then when I'm doing my taxes, I just go into that folder and I have all my receipts there. And then that's good if you ever get audited. You just have all your receipts. You don't have to go searching for receipts.
Okay.
You have everything there.
Nice. I personally just have a bucket, and anytime
Oh yeah.
I use like you go shopping or if I go buy tissue paper, whatever it is, I just throw the receipt in there. And if I
Hmm.
bought personal things, I bought a gallon of milk while I was at the store. I'll highlight specifically what I spent on the business aspect, and I'll throw it in the bucket that I have. It's just like a box, and it has a little slot on the top, and I just kind of throw everything in there. Kind of like when you go to weddings and they have like the boxes for gift cards. That's what I
Hmm.
and I just throw all the receipts in there. But this is my first time doing it. This is my first year, so I don't know how I'm really gonna utilize this once tax season comes. But I just know that I'm trying to save as much of the receipts as I can. So hopefully, down the line when I do file taxes, I'll benefit.
Yeah, and if you're doing it as a business, I recommend having like a business card and keep everything separate. So I think when people sell on Poshmark, there's like very little like liability. But like, say you had like a shop, a store somewhere, and someone sued you. If you had everything separate, then they couldn't like come after your personal assets, like if you had an LLC or something like that. So then you'd want to make sure everything is separate, like you're using a business card, and you're not like putting like personal things on there.
Yeah.
So like once become a bit, I think you said you're doing it this year as a business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would deduct everything legally possible, and like mileage, like all your mileage when you're going thrifting, like all that can be deducted. I would deduct as much stuff as legally possible because I've been doing a lot of tax returns over the years, a lot of audits over the years, and the people that make a lot of money get the biggest returns. It's not what people think. Yeah. So it's like taxes, it appears scary to some people, but it's, if you know what to do and what to deduct, you have a good accountant, you can save money and be excited when tax time comes. You're like, oh my God, I'm about to get another check, you make it like an exciting time, instead of like, oh God, I gotta do my taxes.
So let me ask you a question then. Do you do accounting just for your state, or do you do accounting for anywhere across the country?
So I do only United States. I used to do United States and Canada. In Canada I only did audits, but I do it for the entire United States.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
And one question that I've noticed a lot of people have asked when we do kind of like local meetups is, what's the minimum amount to consider Poshmark as a hobby? I mean, I've heard it, but I just want to confirm that that's the number, because there's like that fine line when you should file it on your taxes and when it's just like a hobby, something for fun.
So one thing I've noticed over my time in different reseller communities is a lot of people share information that's not quite accurate. So what I did is, and what I tell people to do is, you look on the IRS website. If you look at the IRS website, which is what everybody should go by, there is no number threshold, and they do that on purpose. Like, there's no number threshold. So a lot of people get like 1099 rules confused with the law about when to report hobby income, business income. All income is supposed to be reported. There are limits for if you have to file your taxes. So like, say you made $1,000, right? The IRS doesn't care. So it's not, it's not the standard deduction amount, because every person gets a standard deduction, or you can do itemized deduction. So the standard deduction is going to be higher than $1,000. So then they don't care, right? But the law is that there is no threshold, no money threshold. It's considered a hobby if you're just doing it for fun and it's not profitable. So like, say you're just, I don't know, find some clothes around your house and you just want to sell it, that's a hobby. But if you're buying stuff to resell, you're making profits, stuff like that, then it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the IRS website, there is no threshold. And I think a lot of people, like, I see this in a lot of Facebook groups, they get confused because there's a law about 1099 that if you make $600 or more, they have to give you a 1099. And people confuse that law with, oh, it's $600, the hobby rule versus business rule. And that's like not true. So I would, when someone's telling you stuff, I would look at what the IRS website says, or ask someone that actually does accounting, because I feel like there's a lot of like, I've been at events where people are saying this and it's like not true at all. So I would really look at what the IRS website says, because that's what you got to go by, like if you're getting audited. So there is no dollar threshold. It's just, if and there's like, after 3 years, like if say you're filing tax returns for some business after 3 years, there's no profit, they're going to consider it a hobby. So those are like the laws of the IRS. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the 1099 rule.
Got it. Just an
Yeah.
FYI, I got a notification that the call is going to end in 3 minutes, and I put a timer.
Okay. Oh,
But
that's weird.
then one last question for you. I noticed
Okay.
that you have a book, the Every Day is Payday. Can
Yes.
you share a little bit about your book, just so that we can have an idea?
Sure. So my book is called Every Day is Payday. So it shares about multiple streams of income. So I believe everyone should have multiple streams of income. So I talk about how I do my scripts. I share websites in which, so this particular website I share in the book, in which people can watch TV and share their opinion and they get paid.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I love watching TV. So that's, that was another source that a lot of people don't know about, that I have in the book. And then I have a source in the book about how you can post on Instagram and Facebook and get paid. Um, and I have that in my book. And then I talk about like managing money, saving money. Also, I had to talk about goals. So there's one chapter is about goals, and then I have a chapter in the beginning about discovering your purpose and questions to ask yourself to figure out what your purpose is, things like that. And I have a chapter about like positive affirmations as well. If anyone's interested in my book, it's NicoleKalute.com/everydayIsPayday, and I will put a link below as well to that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I was interested because when I saw it, I'm like, ooh, I wonder. I want to so I can have an idea and possibly bride in the future.
Yeah.
But the time looks like it's 2 minutes left. And I
Okay.
think I have any more questions. Do you have any more questions for me?
No.
Thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.